Hi everyone, I'm Sasan Basari, a senior at Elsick High School and a Elsick intern with Alief Voices in Action. And today I'm joined with
Kelvin. I'm also an intern with Sawson at Elsick with the Voices in Action program.
And my name is Emily Antal. I'm also an intern with Saucon and Kelvin for Alief Voices in Action.
And I am Aman. I am a civic engagement college mentor for the Alief Early College and the Hastings High School campuses.
Yes, today we're joined with Aman Danani and is a current senior at University of Houston. He majors in political science, where he also participates in academic research in the areas of political psychology, foreign policy, and public opinion. He has a background in working with students in his community through previous positions as an English tutor and an immigration paralegal. And he's also, like he said, a current college mentor with Alief ISD. So yes, please welcome him on.
Hey, thank you.
Okay.
So the Alief Voices in Action program is it was funded by the Houston Endowment to essentially increase civic engagement and civic awareness on high school campuses. So the idea is that you have high school students who are creating, I guess, new ways, they're finding solutions for their peers to kind of get engaged with their communities, whether that's through the government, community and public service, and just a wide array of like what we know civic engagement to be. So volunteering or voting when that time comes.
Yes. Thank you for breaking down what AVIA is, because honestly, the first time that I talk about AVIA to my friends, they're not really sure what that is. So that's a really good description and insight of what it is. And I would like to ask, because I know this is our second year having AVIA. So can you talk about a brief description of what we did last year?
So one of the big things we worked on last year were the curriculums and the lessons for for Alief's parents.
Mm-hmm.
So the Family Center has this I guess academy for parents, and we as interns were tasked with creating civic engagement lessons for the parents. So it's about educating parents how they can get engaged, how they and their students can engage together. And it was the lessons had activities, it had sources, I guess what's the word, like action steps they can take after. And the idea is, okay, when they as they're kind of being like introduced to these lessons, they're taking steps towards getting engaged with their family, getting engaged in Alief. And that's kind of like where that was one of the big things we worked on, especially during the spring semester.
Okay, and I know each schools also had like their own specific I guess like workshop and their own objective. So Emily, would you like to go into more detail on what that was?
Yes. So along with AVIA being established within the other organizations and in other high schools, they also had their own workshops. I know for Hastings, Michael, he had a workshop over voter education and ballot information. I know it was for sorry if I butcher your name, but Oriofu, she had one over mental health and civic engagement, which really piqued my interest. And also for Elsick, we had the We Are the Pods presentation, where I know you guys surveyed, was it 100 students?
Yeah.
And what were the results of that?
So, it has been a while, but I forgot to do. Really, the big part of that survey was kind of getting at the idea that, okay, we have a civic apathy problem in our community. Why is that? So we wanted to ask students, okay, well, like, is it that you know how to be engaged, but you just don't have you aren't able to? And if so, why? And we saw things like, okay, students feel like they don't have enough time. Students feel like they don't have access to reliable transportation, which we of course know is we of course know it's a problem, in Houston, especially in Alief. So we kind of getting at these issues and really putting making them concrete, so we know, okay, what steps can we take from these results to kind of address that problem and start creating solutions as to why. So that was kind of the why, that was the why behind that projects as well.
So among the responses that you received back, what were the most frequent? Like what were the two most concrete that you would say like all students were sharing?
As far as like in terms of why students aren't engaged, that one really came down to time and transportation. So students, I mean, adults may not feel that way, but you know, high school is a stressful time, especially when you consider that most of the survey, a lot of people who completed the surveys were juniors, and so they, you know, everyone knows junior year is crazy. Junior year is something, and you know, no one has time.
Yeah.
And no one thinks they have time. At least, you know, we'll concede a point with the adults. But that was one of the things that we saw. And also transportation. I mean, we've seen, like, for example, organizations like Alief try to kind of get around that. But it's a really
I would say
difficult
even
issue.
with our own initiative, with our game night that we just recently had, we know that transportation was also a big issue because we had it at a time from about, it was like 5 to 7, and late buses leave, and then people are like, I want to stay, but I don't have transportation. Like both parents are working, so that was definitely a factor. I feel like that affected the attendance and honestly our whole initiative and mission to try and get civic engagement going on.
And I haven't heard about what Alief Early's workshop was, and I really I'm really intrigued by what y'all do, because I know Alief Early sometimes they be taking the top in a lot of things. So, Iman, would you like to share more?
Yes. So I originally started this position, I think February of last year, and the first thing we were doing was working on these civic engagement workshops. So I had an intern, her name was Madeline. She was a very wonderful intern. And we were thinking for this introductory course, how can we kind of make civic engagement personal? So our lesson was titled My Civic Self. And it kind of took an introspective approach to have our audience look within themselves to see how they are currently contributing to their community and what they can do to further their engagement with their community. So I didn't want to focus just on solely voting in government, because I think there's a lot of different ways you can be active civically, such as just volunteering, going to church, going to a mosque, whatever it may be. So I just wanted to have our audience know, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I can do to further be engaged. So that was our first pilot course.
That's awesome. That's great. And we do
It's
love
like
Madeline.
redefining what civic engagement is.
And I'm glad that you mentioned like defining civic engagement, like you just said, because now that I think about it, like, because one of the first, literally, like one of the first things I did on probably one of my first like shifts was, okay, I wanted to define civic engagement, and I mean, y'all probably stumbled upon it in the LSIC folder, but it like that's the We Are the Politics presentation. Like the originally I wanted to say, okay, let me find my definition of civic engagement. So like, you know, and I think the definition I came up with, I can't remember, but it's like something about bettering your community through both political and non-political means, and that definition has kind of stuck with me even throughout the program till today.
I think that's like a big reason is defining what civic engagement is, because I feel like a lot of people, when they think of civic engagement, they think of something so like, oh my gosh, I have to go and be the next president. Like, what I thought. So
it's not a one shoe fits all. Like it's very much, but something that has a lot of sizes.
Yeah. I think that's honestly a really good thing, was first defining it. Like you said, like it doesn't have to, it can be going to church and mosque and things of the sort like that. So yeah. And I also know that AVIA also participated in Family U and Taste of Alief. So would y'all like to share your experience with that?
Okay.
I loved Family U. It was like a conference to have the parents and the families get the experience of going to a kind of professional environment and going through different rooms and learning different topics. I don't know what the rooms taught them specifically. I wasn't allowed in the rooms, but I thought it was really cool for the parents to have that opportunity. And everyone was all dressed up, all dolled up, and I thought it was very fun to witness.
I wasn't here, so I want to know too. Like,
being there, like, it's a very hectic environment at first. You know, like everyone's setting up, everything's kind of like, you know, it like, yeah. And at that, like that was Family U, but at least during then, there was AC. Taste of Alief was outside.
oh, so it's not even about
right. No, it's really not, because, like, you know, you had family. You know, I could. You know, it was February, I think. Family was, and then you had Taste of Alief in like middle of spring, and yeah, it's just. But you know, very fun events to be at. Just gets kind of hectic.
Yeah, Family U for me was, I was surrounded by my friends, so that one was more like, it felt a little bit more chill, just seeing the families, helping them, like, oh, what room are you looking for? Taste of Alief get very much like, I'm working, like, I have to be in my position, sorry, I can't talk to you right now. So I feel like it was very different vibes, but honestly, still being able to see the families, like, walk around and really just be engaging, especially in Taste of Alief, like, because with Family U, you can't really see them because they're in their rooms. But Taste of Alief, you can really see how the community came together, and it was just nice to see overall.
And how diverse the community is.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Let's talk about Alief on Proud Day. Let's talk about that.
Oh.
I really loved Alief Proud Day. I loved it.
Yes,
It was nice seeing all especially the kids too.
Yeah,
like, I loved seeing that.
Okay, now let's move on from this year. Like Emily said, let's talk about what's happening this year. I know you just mentioned Alief Proud Day, and what does AVIA look like for the second year? We're no longer rookies, so
So last year was a lot of establishing the foundation of what we wanted to do. So last year, I know I was planning a lot of stuff for this year, because after the original My Civic Self lesson and looking at all the courses we created, I was like, okay, courses and lecturing people, that's cool, but how can we have, like, for the students specifically, since I work with the interns, how can we make civic engagement more fun? So I think it was in October we had Democracy Dash at Hastings High School. So that was my attempt at kind of making civic engagement fun. So that event specifically, we had a rotation of 6 stations, and they were all themed on different things in civic engagement. So one had to do with trivia. It was just general trivia about our government. The other one was a constitution maze. So we had like a cute little floor maze that I worked really hard on to make. And the students would go through and they would have certain checkpoints where they would be asked a question about the Constitution. And another one of my favorites was the voting station. Obviously there's things that could have been improved about it, but we had a little cute ballot, and it had information about hypothetical candidates, and the people would go through and they would review the information about the candidates and cast a fake ballot. So that's my focus this year, is making things more engaging. I'm planning another event for the spring, which is a policy Shark Tank. So y'all should keep a lookout for that.
Stealing ideas already,
What do you mean stealing ideas? Y'all are stealing ideas?
Where do you think, what's it called? Our game night came from.
Calvin.
You see? Alief Early College, the blueprint.
Oh, wait.
You might need to steal.
It's gonna be district wide, so I'm gonna y'all can advertise at Elsa because I want everybody to participate. So that event is going to be the students from the different high schools are going to form groups and pitch their own policy idea. I want them to practice making and arguing like cogently for a policy and advocating for it to a panel of judges, and we'll have like some sort of incentive for people to participate. It's still in the making. So that's something we're working on for next semester. For the early college right now, we're working on a December event for us to just go into the elementary schools and do an activity with the students and read to them about civics. Because Miss Sierra, our manager, said reading to students is boring. So I'm going to put a little activity to make it more fun. But I think civic engagement should start at an early age. So that's why. And the students at early college really wanted to do something cute and cozy in pajamas for winter. So I guess this semester is just more fun stuff rather than just lecture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're taking that idea.
I mean, no,
Anyways.
like
Right, I bet you will.
no, that is such a good idea though. Like
It is a good
ooh,
idea.
Like the speech and debate kids at Elsa could eat that up.
They
But no, like even thinking about like making things more engaging. I mean, that is kind of where the
Yes.
game night
That's
idea
what I was
came
saying.
from.
Like, I feel I wish that our initiatives were reflective of who we're actually trying to serve. Like,
Right.
it's not times about voting and like it's just so much more, as you said, about civic engagement that we can just redefine. you know?
Especially in an off year. We just had an
Yes.
election, a constitutional election or ballot in November.
Mhm.
But after like a general presidential election, civic engagement, it feels like it gets lost in the cracks of society.
right.
Nobody really pays attention.
Right.
So I think doing things like this, like y'all's game night, Democracy Dash, kind of
Mhm.
helps keep it in the forefront of people's minds that, hey, it's not just about voting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's about learning and just participating in something.
So
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, for sure. And
Mhm.
our game night that we had, sometimes our game night was something.
No,
Let's
How
bingo
just
was
was a
it?
say.
success though. I heard bingo was good. A success.
Bingo was good, and I feel like it was like the first game, so it was just to get everybody settled down. Everybody was really engaged, and honestly, with bingo, you have to like pay attention. So it's
Mhm.
like you can't really be on your phone while playing bingo.
Yeah.
You're not gonna win.
There was one thing that our college mentor Ashley, she had said, because it was essentially like some students, right? They had came by and they were
Mhm.
like, oh, like what are you guys doing? And we told them about the whole game night, and they're like,
Mhm.
oh, we're gonna play bingo. They're like, oh, bingo, and we're like, and then when they saw the questions, they're like, oh no, I'm too stupid to answer this, and it's like, no, that's exactly
mean-
hearing that was like exactly why we're doing this, you
Mhm.
know, like
That's what I'm saying. Like with the whole civic engagement, you don't need to be the next
Exactly,
president. Like, so just being more involved and like
Right.
just knowing, be more of just community. Like before, like
Mhm.
just baby steps, just with your neighborhood first, and maybe citywide, and then statewide, and
Right.
like it's just small things like that. And honestly, it was a success to me. I feel like the
Mhm.
bingo, everybody was really like engaged, and I feel like another thing that I feel like we should focus on is sometimes it can be easy to just say, okay, let's point this and do this to people that we already know. Like, okay, with NHS, we know they're gonna show up to something like that. But
Mhm.
literally, the people who came to our game night were basketball players, like, and people that
Right, the
normally
least
people would
expected.
like, nah, they're not gonna come for real. Like,
Mhm.
but they came, they were involved, they were engaged in the bingo night, like they were playing the games
Mhm.
and just things like that. It's just like, yeah, we don't really need to. It's easy
Right.
to go to the people that we already know is interested in that. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Definitely the food was bad too. Like
Mm.
they were hungry.
they sure
like,
were.
They were hungry.
Tacos. Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I would come to tacos too. Not gonna lie. And I know we've been talking a lot about the students and their point of view, but what about the parents?
So yes, you've been hearing a lot about the students, but we have some for the parents too. It's actually Alief Families in Action, where you can also learn curriculum too about civic engagement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Yeah.
have Sean.
Yes.
Yeah,
go
and
to
if you know
Shine.
if you are an Alief student, keep an eye out
Senior.
for.
our
Yes, it is
seniors.
for just for seniors. We do give out like we do have a point system in place. It's called Shine, where we essentially award incentives for being civically engaged, so volunteering, participating in your community, and essentially like making the kind of change that we know will make our community better.
We can't give them too much. That's for next episode.
Yes. That's for the next episode. So stay tuned for the next episode.
Right.
And before we head out, first want to just thank our guest, Amon, for
Thank
coming. Yes.
Not too loud.
Because what?
No, the thing is just he brought a lot of his insights, especially as a college mentor.
Mhm.
Sometimes, the behind the scenes that we don't get to see or like things that the changes. So thank you for coming and sharing your experience with
Anytime,
ABIA.
anytime.
And Alief, really lucky to have you. Yes. And before we go,
And Hastings.
Oh yeah, and
We definitely
Hastings.
need
Yes.
you.
Oh,
Hastings is awesome. Don't
Right.
Kelvin,
Don't
why
try
are
to
you
clock
being
it.
messy?
Okay. And also at the end of each episode, we like to do an episode spotlight. And today we would like to spotlight Coach Orta. So hand clap. Yes. And as we conclude this episode of ABIA, Alief Voices in Action, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our listeners and our special guest, Aman Danani. Thank you for being a part of our community. Our mission is to amplify the voices within Alief, showcasing the impact work happening around us while creating a space for growth and dialogue. As we move forward, we encourage you to reflect on the insights shared today and think about how you can actively engage in your community. We look forward to having you and joining us in our next episode. So thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye.
This has been an AMP production.